Hey, back man, Mike Corzine. Why does nobody believe in the most talented team in the NBA?
Why does nobody seem to care that on paper, the Phoenix Suns are one of the greatest collections of talent we have ever seen? A bold statement, I know, but the 2024 Suns will have a 25-year-old DeAndre Ayton, a former #1 pick who averaged 18 points and 10 rebounds per game last season. Their star is 27-year-old in his prime Devin Booker, a man who has already been a 3-time All-Star, scored 70 points in a single game, and just had one of the best offensive playoff runs we have seen in recent memory until Game 6.
They can score the ball and rebound. Booker misses his first shot. The second player to average a triple-double in a playoff series. Russell Westbrook, the other. Booker short that time. Booker penetrates, gets rejected by Brown. Booker stops, pops, missed again. The Phoenix Suns season is over. The Denver Nuggets are moving on to the conference finals for the second time in 4 years.
That Game 6 loss
Like that
was
shirt
tough.
that she got on.
To the conference
Look at this shirt. Strong as a mother. I like that shirt.
for the second time in 4 years.
That Game 6
Must have been
loss
Mother's
was
Day that
tough,
day.
But Phoenix will also have their first full
Or maybe
season
not. You can wear that
with
shirt
Hall of
anytime.
Famer Kevin Durant, as he was only able to play in 8 games after last year's trade. And then, of course, the Suns' big four are completed by a healthy, finally ready to compete, 3-time All-Star.
Cold!
Perhaps when it comes to height, Book and Beal are an inch or two shorter than you'd
It's
like. But with
summertime.
these 4 players, we have 2 playmaking, scoring all-stars, a modern-day small forward / power forward who is one of the best players to ever live, and a big man who certainly has the talent of a #1 pick, who has also proven himself in clutch moments already.
DeAndre Ayton?
Crowder looking, throws it.
Oh, first game winner.
Ayton puts it down. He puts it down. It's over.
I ain't never seen a game winner like that
On the other
before.
side, though,
That was a nice game winner.
Perhaps even the hate at this point. Is Devin Booker a fraud and a choker? Will a known scorer in Bradley Beal actually be cool with taking less shots and fitting in? What about Kevin Durant's injury history? Is he finally too old? And DeAndre Ayton, the man who apparently hated his head coach in Monty Williams last year.
He's not
will
the coach
he
no
live
more, though.
up to the
It's
potential, or will
Vogel.
he
Used to be a
quit
coach of
on
the Lakers.
team like some say he did last year? What's up, Mike here, and to be honest, those are some understandable concerns. However, when we really investigate into the Phoenix Suns situation here, I am coming up with nothing but positives. I believe in this team in a very real way, as you're about to see, because the evidence is just overwhelming. If we're being honest with ourselves, I think the Phoenix Suns as a team are the easiest target right now out of everyone. However, after Devin Booker and Chris Paul were destroyed by Luka Doncic in this trash talk 3-game arc,
Yeah. What do you think of that? Don't really care.
27-point lead. Down goes Johnson. 3.
Luka Doncic is absolutely putting on a show here in the Valley.
This shot will hang on permanent display in the Museum of Ass Kickings. The Phoenix Suns got clowned at home. Embarrassing to them, embarrassing to the city of Phoenix, embarrassing to Lil Wayne. Now, Lil Wayne, he'll get past it. He'll move on. Hell, I'm depressed.
Lil Wayne's a Suns fan?
Because this image,
He roots for the Suns?
with you. Maybe forever.
after the Suns took a massive
I was a New
L,
Orleans fan.
people have not respected them as they should. But before we continue, guys, I am very excited to thank DraftKings.
Max.
Last year, Phoenix was bounced from the playoffs after Book shot 4 for 13 with 12 points in the final loss. When you are horrible in that final game, that is all you hear. However, in the other 5 games Devin Booker played against the Nuggets, he averaged 30.
We sure saw him against the Clippers, bro. This man couldn't miss a shot against the Clippers, but we go against the Nuggets. Elimination game. We can't hit a shot. Whoop-de-doo!
4.6 points on, get this, 16%.
Could you play like you did at Game 6 against the Nuggets against the Clippers?
Shooting. He also averaged 7.8 assists and 5.4 rebounds, proving
Horse
his
coulda got a
all-around rating
ring.
for the playoffs as a whole. Book led everyone in scoring with 33.7 points per game on 58.5% shooting with 7.2 assists per game and 4.8 rebounds per game. Those are not only superstar numbers, those are the numbers of a player who can also work with another star. The perfect recipe for a championship team. Book had Chris Paul and Durant on the court when he produced those numbers just last season, which means he is used to playing with high-level, high-usage players, and that also means we can address the Bradley Beal fit right now. I don't think we're going to have a problem. Beal only
played with Russ
17.6 shots a game last
and
season.
John Wall, so he knows how to play with stars. But I didn't know how to play. He played with Russell Westbrook and John Wall.
Average over 30 points per game in a single year. That is the past. Last year, Bradley Beal also contributed 5.4 assists per game, which will be great in his role of the 2 guard in this combo. As the
hold on, I thought he was the point guard. I thought he was gonna have Bradley Beal play point guard. Who's gonna be the starting point guard? Is it Bill?
Quite clear, they are choosing to put the ball in the hands of Devin Booker as their lead guard. They believe in Book, and looking at last year's playoff numbers, it's not hard to see why. We already talked about the base stats, but looking at Devin Booker's playoff usage rate for his career, we find that it has always been high, but it actually went slightly down last season as his true shooting percentage skyrocketed.
Dang, it's not even, like I said, it's not even cold in here.
For this roster,
probably the water that I'm drinking. I'm drinking cold water. I can't drink warm water because it give me a headache.
Went dramatically.
Nah, nothing to do with the video.
His turnover percentage went down. So I think it's very easy to look at an about to be in his prime player such as Devin Booker or Jason Tatum and pick that kind of player apart because of one thing. They are so good that their teams keep making very deep playoff runs, which means with all eyes on them, we only have their flaws to look at. In the NBA, it really comes down to one thing. If you don't win the title, you're gonna hear it. Jason Tatum in last year's finals was 25 years old. He took a lot of heat after losing as the second best team in the entire league, while another young player in Luka Doncic, Luka faced little to no criticism after the offseason ended because he wasn't playing in front of us. Upping the stakes here, I will actually say that we should be looking at players such as Devin Booker and Jason Tatum and pointing at them as the real potential superstars to be. What have we seen from young player after young player that has actually succeeded? Failure. We have seen failure that then is followed up by tremendous success. Kobe Bryant is of course the perfect example of this. Kobe infamously airballed 4 huge shots for the Lakers in Game 5 of the 1997 playoffs. Took this failure upon himself and ended up winning 5 championships as one of the best players to ever do it. Young LeBron was one of the greatest players we have ever seen, and it took him 9 seasons to win his first championship. Yes, some of the rosters that were built around him were not ideal. However, in 2010, the Cavs were the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and against an aging Boston Celtics team, after going up 2-1, LeBron would shoot 7 for 18 in Game 4, which tied the series, then shot 3 for 14 in a 32-point home court loss in Game 5, and finished things off with an 8 for 21 shooting performance that also included, yes, 19 rebounds, yes, 10 assists, yes, 9 turnovers. LeBron took failure such as this and became the second best player to ever live. If there's one thing we know for sure when looking at NBA history, it is that if a player truly loves the thing, we know for failure such as this and became the second best player to ever live. There's one thing we know for sure when looking at NBA history, it is that if a player truly loves the game and is obsessed,
some people might be mad about that statement, Mike.
At the very least, have
better stand on it.
Chance at success. Devin Booker, if he wanted to, could have been an A+ list celebrity star. He dated Kendall Jenner. He might still be dating Kendall Jenner. I do not know, because Devin Booker is not about the famous lifestyle. Devin Booker is about putting his head down and working on his game. The results spoke for themselves. That Luka Doncic moment was legitimately embarrassing. Now, I myself went very hard at Devin Booker when Luka Doncic cooked him in that
Everyone
moment.
did.
I apologize, Book. I don't doubt him.
Not just Book, but the Suns in general.
I think there are still 2 questions on this roster, which would be, of course, Kevin Durant and DeAndre Ayton. Kevin Durant last season was in one of the hardest positions a basketball player can be in. He was a superstar who was traded mid-season and was only able to play in 8 games before the playoffs, and then was expected to go out and still be a superstar, as he looked to his left and saw Chris Paul instead of Kyrie. Despite this, in the playoffs, KD averaged over 29 points and 9 rebounds per game, with over 5 assists per game on around 48% shooting from the field. Yes, it is very true that Kevin Durant's 3-point shot was very off in the Nuggets series. However, Phoenix still took the NBA champs to 6 games, with all of the flaws on that roster, with DeAndre Ayton, who by all reports hated his head coach. Let's watch this clip before last season.
I haven't smoked him on. No, I haven't smoked him at all. Ever since the game.
You happy with DA?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Did anyone just hear what DeAndre Ayton said? How did we expect this to work? Whether DeAndre Ayton has the right to be a mad star like this, well, no, he doesn't. But what I will say is that as a team,
Monty Williams is not there no more. He's with this team right here.
franchise,
He's with Bogdanovich. Right? Bogdanovich. Like
Bogdanovich. Going to
Bogdanovich.
be dealt different personalities, different players in that way. Even if a player does hate the head coach in this way, he's supposed to be a professional and not allow it to affect him. Last year, the Phoenix Suns players openly were mad at DeAndre Ayton on the court due to him letting this affect him. Here's where, though, I think the Phoenix Suns have hit a home run in their new head coach, Frank Vogel. Sorry, Monty, you had to go. Your center is speaking crazy about you. Most importantly, though, with Frank Vogel, I believe one of two things will happen. One, a happy DeAndre Ayton will anchor this team in the playoffs, or two, a happy, then surprised DeAndre Ayton will be traded for a big package. It is not as if DeAndre Ayton does not have interest around the league. He was offered a max contract by the Indiana Pacers just 1 year ago. Phoenix had to match to keep him, and last season, despite whatever was happening, DeAndre averaged 18 points and 10 rebounds per game. The talent is there, the potential is there. That is why his teammates were frustrated. That is also why everyone currently doubts DeAndre Ayton. But
can Ayton shoot threes?
We need to look at the headlines. We need to look at what Frank Vogel is saying. Recently,
he's the old school center.
Zach Lowe said that Vogel has made it a gigantic point to build a great relationship with DeAndre Ayton. And so far, this offseason, that is all we have seen when it comes to the headlines. Frank Vogel is a championship winning coach. He knows what it takes to win. It is definitely not all about just the talent out there on the court. It is about personalities. The Phoenix Suns have a lot of big personalities in this locker room. With the right coach, all of those personalities.
Hold up, Vogel. Hold up.
With DeAndre Ayton, Zach Lowe said that Vogel has made it a gigantic point to build a great relationship with DeAndre Ayton. And
you couldn't do that with Russ, bro. You couldn't do that with Russ, Frank Vogel. You couldn't do that with Russ. I mean, you started him all 80 games that he played that year, but you couldn't have a better relationship with them.
So
you like, I'm not here to have a relationship. I'm here to coach you. But with Ayton, because you on a new team with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, you want to have a relationship with DeAndre Ayton. Whoop-de-doo!
That is all
you should have had that same energy when you had coaching Russ.
Headlines. Frank Vogel is a championship.
I appreciate you not bringing Russ off the bench, though. Appreciate you a lot.
He knows what it takes to win. It is definitely not all about just the talent out there on the court. It is about personalities. The Phoenix Suns have a lot of big personalities in this locker room. With the right coach, all of those personalities could be unlocked, and then we'd be able to answer the question, are the Phoenix Suns the greatest team on paper in NBA history? It is impossible for me to not give a defending champion that honor, of course. I will make a bold claim, though. I will say on paper, the Phoenix Suns are the best team in the NBA, and also I will pick them to win the 2024 NBA championship, yes. Because if you are still doubting, well, I pick them to win the 2024 NBA championship, yes. Because if you are still doubting, well, I do agree. A lot of questions need to be answered. On paper, if this team stays healthy, they could have two of the top.
Spit out my order, Mike. Hold up. Calm down now.
This is a classic scenario. They have the new coach that's already won a championship. Kevin Durant is a Hall of Famer with something to prove, who has also won a
Kevin Durant has something to prove, okay.
And finally has a full preseason with
I want to think he'll say that, but okay.
And Devin Booker just showed us he's ready to take a leap and become a top 5 player in this league. The numbers just don't lie. Everything is set up for Phoenix to be the best team in the NBA this season. I've said it, I'm predicting it. Now it's time to see what happens. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new to the channel,
I think you're gonna be knocked out in the second round in 7 games.
Subscribe and turn on post notifications.
Son, second round exit, bro.
Already subscribed. Thank you so much for supporting.
They're gonna lose to the Grizzlies or Clippers, one of them.
Have an awesome day and cue that music.
Second round exit.